Hey guys, this is DeSHANTA B, and I'm here today to share with you a super easy, beginner-friendly, deep-fried mustard chicken legs wet and dry recipe. This recipe is super easy, it is beginner-friendly, and I will show you step by step how to cook this recipe. So you know what I'm about to say. You know what time it is. Let's get to the ingredients and stop playing. Are you ready? Come on, let's go. For this recipe, I am using a value pack of chicken drumsticks. You can also use whatever part of the chicken that you like, or you can do a combination. You can use chicken legs, chicken wings, chicken breasts, whatever is conducive for you and whatever you have on hand. But for this particular recipe, I am using a value pack of chicken drumsticks. You will need some white vinegar. If you do not have white vinegar, you can use salt, lemons, or limes to clean your chicken. You will need yellow mustard. I'm using Jane's KRAZY original mixed up pepper. If you do not have this seasoning, you can use regular black pepper. Rib rack spice chicken seasoning, and I'm also using my BADIA poultry seasoning southern blend. If you do not have these seasonings, guys, please use whatever your favorite seasoning is to season your chicken. I just happen to have a whole pantry of different seasonings. You will need some flour. You can also use all-purpose flour if that's what you have on hand. I'm using vegetable oil. You can use canola oil or peanut oil. Please do not use olive oil for frying. Olive oil burns very easily. I also have the Heinz barbecue sauce, Carolina mustard, sweet mustard, and I also have the Sweet Baby Ray's sweet golden mustard barbecue sauce. You can use whatever barbecue sauce that you have on hand. These are just the two that I have in my pantry. You will need a deep pot for frying. You can use a pot of this type, or you can use your cast iron Dutch oven, anything that has depth to it so that you can add your oil. You will also need a colander. You will need a bowl that has a lid, a bowl that has some depth. If you choose to put your chicken in here to shake up with the flour, I will be using Ziploc bags. I will be using 2 to ensure that the bags do not break. So you have a choice of Ziploc bags or the bowl to shake your chicken in. You will also need a large bowl to place your chicken legs in so that we can season them. Okay guys, you know what time it is. Let's keep it moving. I am now going to clean these chicken legs. I'm going to check the chicken legs for any feathers or hair on the chicken, which all you have to do is remove it. I'm going to check for any bad discolorations and smells. I will then place these chicken legs into the large bowl. Cover the chicken legs with cool or cold water, add the white vinegar, and allow the chicken legs to soak for 20 to 30 minutes. I will then come back and, using the colander, rinse the chicken legs off several times in cool or cold water. Pat them dry with paper towels and then place them back into a clean bowl so that we can season them. Guys, if your chicken smells ratchet, it just doesn't look right, please just throw the chicken away. And also, when you're done cleaning your chicken, please make sure to sanitize your work area. You know what time it is. Let's get into it. Now I'm going to prep the flour. If you are using the bowl with the top, now is the time to take that bowl out. But I will be using 2 Ziploc bags. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place one inside of the other and then add the flour and seasoning. Okay, let's go. Now I'm going to add the flour to my Ziploc bags. It will be between 2 to 4 cups of flour, and I'm going to add the same seasoning that I'm going to season the chicken legs with. Guys, if you want to use a salt-free seasoning, please use whatever your favorite seasoning is that you use on your chicken. Okay, let's get into it. You can add 1 to 2 teaspoons of each seasoning. You just want to make sure that the chicken is well coated with seasoning, not just the mustard. And once again, please use whatever seasoning is conducive for you. Now that I have added the seasonings, I'm simply going to close the bag. Shake the seasonings until it's well blended into the flour. I may or may not add more seasoning. It's up to you. Once you have shook the bag and the seasonings are well incorporated into the flour, you're just going to set this to the side until needed. Now I am going to season the chicken legs. You're going to use the same seasoning that you use to season your flour. The only additional is the yellow mustard that we will use to cover and season the chicken legs. You know what time it is. Let's get into seasoning this chicken and stop playing. If you are a beginner cook, I would start with 1 to 2 teaspoons of each seasoning. Remember, you can always add seasoning later, but you can't take away. Once the chicken is too salty or whatever you're cooking is over seasoned, that's just the way that it's going to be. Okay, let's go. Now I'm going to add the mustard. You want to use enough mustard to completely coat your chicken. Now I'm going to rub the seasonings well into the chicken legs. Then I'm going to allow the chicken to marinate for 30 minutes. The good thing about this particular part is that you can prep your chicken the day before. Okay, let's go. You know what, guys? You know me. This chicken looks a little bit too bland. So I'm just going to add a little bit more seasoning and a little bit more mustard. Continue to rub the seasonings into the chicken legs. This step is purely optional. Now this is seasoned chicken to me. You know I know what time it is. I'm going to let this chicken marinate for about 30 minutes and then I'll be back. While I am waiting for the oil to heat so that I can begin to fry the chicken legs, I have taken a pot, which I forgot to mention that you may or may not need, or if you have a microwavable bowl, you can heat up the mustard barbecue sauce in the microwave. I have placed the pot on the stove, turned the heat to low, and I'm going to add my barbecue sauce. I'm going to allow it to become warm until the chicken legs have finished cooking, and we're going to take the barbecue sauce and coat the chicken legs. Just allow it to come to a low simmer and it will be ready when the chicken legs are done. Now I'm going to prep the deep pan for our frying. You want to make sure that your oil comes to the middle of your pot. If you add too much oil, you run the chance of having the oil spilling over the sides and creating a grease fire or a serious burn. Okay, let's go. Now that you have added your oil to your pot, just put your top on your pot and set it to the side. I have floured all of the chicken legs. I've placed the chicken legs onto a plate and I am going to allow the chicken legs to rest for about 15 minutes. This is so that the flour would adhere or stick to the chicken legs. This also helps to keep you from losing a lot of flour in your hot oil and help keep the chicken crispy. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat up the oil on the stove. Between 5 and 6 on the stove is the temperature, and then we will begin to fry these chicken legs. Let's go. To tell if your oil is ready to fry, if you do not have a thermometer, there are 2 other ways that you can carefully assess if your oil is hot enough to add your chicken. You can add a little bit of flour or you can use the end part of a piece of bread, which I'm going to show you. You carefully add the flour or the bread to the oil. If the oil begins to quickly fry and you see a lot of bubbles, then your oil should be ready for frying. Please do not add water to hot oil. That is a way to get a serious burn. So if you don't have a thermometer, please try these other two methods, or you can try to stick a piece of the chicken into the oil, and if it begins to fry with a lot of bubbles, your oil should be ready for your chicken. Let's go. This is how I like my chicken to look before I fry it. As you can see, the flour has started to adhere to the chicken, and this will help ensure that a lot of the flour will not end up in the bottom of your frying pan. Keep in mind, if you are using chicken wings or chicken breasts, the ideal temperature is between 325 and 350. Those pieces will cook much quicker than chicken thighs and chicken legs. For me, the ideal temperature for chicken legs and thighs is between 300 and 325 due to the fact that they have to cook much longer. Okay, let's go. Using a pair of tongs, I'm going to carefully add the chicken legs to the hot oil. Please do not add too many pieces to your pot or crowd the pot. When you do that, you lower the temperature of the cooking oil. So guys, this is an older camera, so it may look a little different, but this is the second batch of chicken legs. And like my nana used to tell me, right now you see the oil is popping. You can hear the oil. She used to say when the chicken stops dancing, the oil is quiet, then your chicken should be done. Okay guys, I'm going to wait for this batch to stop cooking, and then I'm going to apply the barbecue sauce. Because my cameras are acting up, I'm just going to come back with the finished product. What I'm going to do is take the chicken, the second batch, when it's done, allow the oil to drip off on the paper towels. I'm then going to take a couple of pieces, place them into a bowl, pour the warmed barbecue sauce over the chicken, and then I will come back with the finished product. Okay, I'll be back. This is the mustard deep fried chicken legs. Before I add the barbecue sauce to some of the pieces, I just wanted you to get a look of how golden and how juicy and tender this chicken looks. The color may be a little off, guys, because I am on an old camera. My original camera broke while I was recording the other parts of this video, as well as my tripod legs fell off. So your girl really worked to get this recipe to you guys. So once again, I just wanted you to get a look of how golden the chicken is before I add the mustard sweet barbecue sauce. I'll be back. I have placed some of the mustard style deep fried chicken into a bowl. I am now going to pour the warmed barbecue sauce over these chicken legs. Give it a shake, or if you want, you can use a brush and baste it, and then I will be back with the final look. And here you have it, the super easy, beginner friendly, step by step, dry and wet, deep fried mustard style chicken legs. Guys, remember, you can use any part of the chicken. If you use chicken wings and chicken breasts, remember they don't require as much time to cook as chicken legs and chicken thighs. Guys, this recipe doesn't get any easier than the way that I broke it down for you. And remember, you can always prep this chicken the day before. So with that being said, you know what time it is. You have no reason not to give this recipe a try. And stop playing.